Please tell me they were hacked. I am at the top of the scouting report.
But it still freaking sucks.
He put up crazy numbers last season, and even in this season,
Sneakers were out of stock in, quote, minutes.
Angel Reese goes nuts after being humiliated by experts and Caitlin Clark. Just shocked the WNBA. Angel Reese just got roasted by experts after dropping a wild claim. And let's just say it didn't go over well. While she's busy making noise, Caitlin Clark is silently flexing, selling out 13,000 pairs of her new Nike sneakers in literal minutes, while being sidelined. Because when you've got real power, you don't need to announce it. The world already knows your name.
Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark rivalry.
You've got one rookie calling herself top of the scouting report, and another rookie actually being triple teamed by the best defense in the league. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are both making headlines, but for very different reasons. One is dominating quietly, and the other? She's getting dragged by analysts, fans, and even her own performance. So let's get into what started this wildfire.
Please tell me it's a fake quote. Please tell me this is a fake quote.
Angel Reese allegedly told Yahoo Sports that she's at the top of the scouting report. And that one sentence? It broke WNBA Twitter. Fans weren't just surprised, they were begging for it to be fake. Some people thought Yahoo got hacked. That's how bizarre it sounded. Because when you're averaging 12 points per game on 40% shooting, and your team hasn't beaten a winning squad in over a year, saying you're the focal point of opposing defenses just doesn't land.
She's the only player in the league. Like, you won't hear Aja Wilson going out there. I am at the top of the scouting report. Ariel Atkins is at the top of the scouting report for your team. Camila Cardoso is at the top of the scouting report. Teams just box you out.
This is not just about one quote. It's about perception versus reality. Reese isn't a scrub, let's be clear, but when you're on a 5-win team that's only managed victories against the LA Sparks and Dallas Wings, the last thing people expect is bravado. Especially when your teammate Ariel Atkins is outplaying you on both ends and leading the team in clutch moments. Atkins is the one teams fear. Analysts have said it over and over. Stop Ariel, you stop Chicago.
She's literally out here, like, she's basically just said, you know what? I'm the best player. I'm the best player on this team. It's like, she's the second best player on a terrible team. She's the only player in the league that will say this shit.
But Angel's taking wild shots, missing layups, and sometimes literally running into her own teammates. It's not even hate, it's the tape. Even Dallas, one of the worst defensive teams in the league, boxed her out while Ariel cooked them twice. That's not being top of the scouting report. That's being targeted because you're inefficient and predictable.
That feels like we want to see the battle of the superstars, right? We want to see Caitlin Clark against Aja Wilson. That's just, when you have a sports league, you can't wait for those big, huge matchups.
Now let's contrast that with Caitlin Clark, who hasn't said a word but is forcing every team to change their entire game plan. Las Vegas literally left Aaliyah Boston, the former #1 pick, open for layups just to stop Clark from getting going. Boston dropped 18 in the first half, and the Aces didn't care. That's the level Clark is on. And yet, she never said she's top of the report. Others say it for her. It's wild how fast things flipped. One rookie gets humbled, the other disappears and leaves a league on edge. And both are making waves without even stepping on the court. Let that sink in.
Like, what is the benefit gained by saying that you are at the top of the scouting report?
There's loud, and then there's loud with nothing to back it up. Angel Reese is out here telling the world she's at the top of the scouting report, like she's dropping 30 a night on playoff teams. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, the actual face of the league, is quietly sitting on the sidelines, saying nothing at all, and still pulling in 2 million viewers every time she laces up. 2 million. That's not hype. That's not PR spin. That's real power, and the difference couldn't be more obvious.
If she ends up missing the All-Star game, it is a disaster for the WNBA and for the Indiana Fever.
Caitlyn doesn't need to tell you she's the one every team is planning around. She never says it. She doesn't have to. Everyone already knows. Even when she has an off night like her 7-point game against the Storm, people like Skylar Diggins-Smith go straight to the point. We had to stop Caitlyn. No mention of Aaliyah Boston dropping a career high. No love for anyone else on the Fever roster. Just pure respect and fear for Clark's ability to change a game at any second. That's what being top of the scouting report really looks like.
And speculating that she's going to be held out all the way up until All-Star break.
But now, the energy has shifted, and fast. Clark was ruled out against the Aces, then ruled out again the next game, and fans started to panic. At first, it seemed like a minor groin tweak, a little rest maybe. But the silence from the Indiana Fever and the WNBA has been deafening. No updates, no details, just gone. And people are starting to ask, is something bigger being hidden here?
Know that she hasn't had her greatest season. I also know that she has been out with injury, but there is no person in the world who can convince me that there are 8 better guards than Caitlin Clark in the WNBA.
That's when the speculation exploded. Some think it's load management. Others believe it's much more serious, that Clark may need surgery and could be out for the rest of the season. A sports doc on YouTube, Dr. Steve MD, even predicted it directly. Her season is over. And while the team hasn't confirmed anything, fans didn't shrug it off, because the timing is suspicious. The Fever secured their Commissioner's Cup spot, cue the champagne showers, and then suddenly Caitlyn disappears? The optics aren't great.
The WNBA ratings across the league dropped by over 50% when Caitlin Clark was out with injury.
What's worse is the idea that the team or the league might be using her name and image to keep fans engaged while quietly sitting her out to protect ticket sales. Think about it. The All-Star Game is in Indianapolis this year, Clark's home court, her fan base. The entire event was clearly built around her, and it shows. She pulled in 1.2 million All-Star votes, crushing her own record from last year. This was supposed to be her grand stage.
It means that Caitlyn is out for 3 weeks. If it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it. She has such a long career.
Now, with every passing game she misses, the fear grows. What if she doesn't play? What if the biggest WNBA event of the year, built entirely around Caitlyn, goes forward without her? That's not just a scheduling problem. That's a full-blown PR disaster. The league was banking on a historic viewership spike, maybe 4 million people tuning in. If Caitlyn sits, they can kiss that dream goodbye.
Like, why are you coming out with this? Like, what is there to be gained?
So what we're seeing is a contrast in volume versus value. Angel Reese is all over the headlines because of a bold quote saying she's the hunted the player teams are targeting. But it's Caitlin Clark who's actually drawing that heat in silence. She's the one opponents are throwing double and triple coverage at.
League is going to want her to be a full go participant in anything they can get her in for the All-Star weekend because it's in Indianapolis.
It's not even close. One rookie is fighting to be relevant by shouting her own name. The other can't walk into a gym without the world noticing. Caitlin Clark is being missed right now, not because she said something wild, but because she didn't have to say anything at all. That's star power. That's why fans are worried. That's why this silence is loud. And if the WNBA doesn't come clean soon, it won't just be Clark they're losing, it'll be the trust of the entire fan base.
This is something that dates all the way back to the beginning of the season.
Let's be honest, something smells off. Caitlin Clark plays through bumps, bruises, body checks, and elbows for weeks. And then poof, right after the Indiana Fever clinched the Commissioner's Cup, she's suddenly out with a groin injury. No press conference, no medical update, no nothing. Just silence. And if that's not suspicious, I don't know what is. Because let's call it what it is. The WNBA milked every drop of value out of Caitlin Clark, and the second they cashed the check, she disappeared.
Felt like something was wrong. She wasn't hyping up the crowd like she normally does.
She was playing through obvious pain. You could see it. She was limping, slow on defense, rubbing that hip on the bench. But the league needed her to sell out arenas, needed her to spike jersey sales, needed her to set record after record in TV ratings. So she kept going. For them. And the second they didn't need her anymore, benched, with zero transparency. No injury report, no timeline, just, she's not playing today, and tomorrow, and the next game. And now we're all staring at the All-Star game wondering if she's even going to show up for the WNBA's own showcase event.
And again, we don't know how bad it is.
And while the league goes completely radio silent, Clark's face starts disappearing from ads too. All that momentum, all that marketing, it's evaporating. It's almost like they're trying to minimize the backlash before fans realize what's really going on. Because at this point, it doesn't feel like load management anymore. It feels like exploitation. Straight up. Use her when the money's flowing. Shelf her when she's no longer needed. It's gross. And fans, they're catching on.
So we know the new Caitlin Clark Nike shoes came out, and they sold out.
Meanwhile, let's talk about something else that exploded. Clark's Nike madness. While Angel Reese is out here trying to convince the world she's the main attraction, Caitlin's actual shoes are putting up superstar numbers. Her Nike Kobe 5 PEs in Indiana Fever colors sold out immediately. Gone. 13,000 pairs? Off the market in literal minutes. You had people crying online that they couldn't even load the checkout page before sizes disappeared. That's not just sneaker hype, that's brand power.
Shoes went up for sale on Monday morning at $190 a pop. Now most are going for well over $350, with one pair even costing $642.
And here's the real kicker. Resale prices are insane. We're talking $350 minimum. Some pairs going for $642 on resale sites. A men's size 10 listed for $480. That's not even a special edition. That's just the demand Clark's name brings. Meanwhile, Aja Wilson, who is an actual MVP and one of the most dominant players in the league, reportedly had just 3,000 pairs of her own shoe released. That's barely a fraction. Clark's sneakers outsold hers 4-1. And it lines up perfectly with the TV ratings too. Caitlin doesn't just move shoes, she moves eyeballs. Every game she plays, 2 million people tune in. The average WNBA star, no matter how good, pulls about 450,000. Caitlin quadruples that without even trying. So yeah, it's not just about hype anymore, it's about math. And the numbers don't lie.
At least from Angel Reese's side, there is still a bit of animosity toward Caitlin Clark.
Now, let's zoom out. Two rookies, two very different realities. Angel Reese, she's on a hot streak, sure. She's improved her shooting. She's crashing the boards hard. She's an all-star, well-deserved. But she's also declaring herself the top of scouting reports on a team that hasn't beaten anyone good in a year. That kind of public self-promotion? It only works when the performance backs it up. Right now it doesn't. And every time she has a bad game, that quote is coming back like a boomerang from hell.
And the officials give a tech to Sheldon for poking.
On the other hand, you have Caitlin Clark, criticized for being quiet, too reserved, maybe even too nice. But look around, she's changing the entire WNBA ecosystem. She's why ESPN is covering the league more. She's why casual fans are tuning in. She's why teams are flying private more often. She's doing all of that without talking, just numbers, just presence, just results.
And her as a player is so important for this team and for this league in general, so you actually can't risk it.
The WNBA is now on edge. They built their 2025 identity on one rookie, Clark, and now she might not even play the All-Star game that was built for her. Meanwhile, the other rookie is trying to manifest her own superstardom through sheer willpower, headline quotes, and swagger. One is changing the league's business model. The other's changing its comment sections. So here's your final verdict. One is scoring buckets, the other's scoring headlines. But only one is carrying the league. And look, the fallout? It's already brewing. What happens if Angel Reese drops a 2-point stinker next game? That quote is getting memed into oblivion. She'll be trending again, and not for the right reasons. And if Caitlin Clark misses the All-Star game, the league has a full-blown credibility crisis on its hands. No main event, no superstar draw, no record-breaking ratings, just a lot of questions and a very angry fan base. So let's ask it straight. Who's really the future of the WNBA? And who's just being hyped too early? If you thought this breakdown was fair, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this drama is just getting started.